All right, welcome back to The Horror with Mike.
And Nate.
On this episode, we're going into Scream, episode 5 of 10. Real quick, we got news yesterday, the day before, that it got renewed for a second season.
Second season.
Now, I haven't heard anything, because I said I was going to stop researching it. Is it going to be a continuation, or...
Creatively, I don't think they've made any decisions. There was a TV critics conference or something. They released, the raw numbers. The debut got over 1 million viewers.
Right.
It averages about 800,000 to 1 million viewers a week. Based on those numbers, we've greenlighted a second season. That was it.
Okay, so if anybody out there does know anything else, please let us know. What I'm worried about, and this is only solidified further in this episode, is that we might not be getting 10 in a contained story. I'm hoping we do, but...
They're going to Laura Palmer it.
Or The Killing supposedly did it recently, too.
The Killing
and
did it
I was waiting to watch The Killing, and then everyone lost their shit, and I was like, nope, I do not support what it did. I'm not even going to bother to binge watch this now that it's out.
Right.
I kind of don't think they're going to, but I'm terrified that they do because I'm going to be fucking pissed. I sat down to watch 10 fucking episodes and get a killer. And
we had an oral contract, MTV.
Yeah.
You said 10 episodes. We expect, at the bare minimum, a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Yes.
You can do that in 10 episodes.
Yes.
Don't say, well, the ending is now going to be at the end of season 2.
I will fucking go. All the love I've been proclaiming across these here internets for you, I will turn to fucking rage.
You don't want that to happen, MTV.
Oh, God, I'll be so pissed. Anyway, let's go episode specific here. This episode was written by David Hogshaw, which he doesn't look like he's written anything other than this episode. It's again directed by the Brian Danley guy who directed last episode and the movie Saved. Okay, so this episode starts off with Emma showing back up to school, everyone looking at her all mean. She got her hair done. Evidently, she wasn't that upset by anything. I'm sorry. That kind of
stuff. She had to cheer herself
up,
that get her toes did, her hair streaked.
Yeah. And it's just like, oh, I'm so upset, but I went to the hairdresser. And so, oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, so I almost wanted to start this off by saying I'm sorry, Nate.
I apology accepted. I appreciate that.
Yeah. I really do I hope that I'm only apologizing for this episode, not the series in general.
They slammed on the brakes, and this wasn't a fast-moving show. But,
no, it wasn't fast-moving to begin with, and this episode went boom, bad, because right after Emma starts walking around, we get school hallway, which means teen drama.
And not good teen drama.
Blah, blah, blah. She finds a photo in her locker, slut just like your mother, basically, which is all, of course, leading us to that her mother had another kid.
And it has something to do with the sheriff, I believe, also.
Why?
Because they're the only two people on the show in that age bracket, and they have the Brandon James connection, so there's something else there.
Well, sure, but I think Mr. Branson is about in that age range, that he's a little bit older, a little bit,
Yeah, I guess he's supposed to be, yeah.
And again, Brandon's son, man, I do not fucking doubt that this shit will pull that.
And this episode in particular, I actually, out loud, said, God damn it, Mike.
No, well, see, this was the episode where I was like, maybe I'm wrong because maybe this is the arc that they're getting to with him that'll show why they cast him. But I doubt it.
Well, no, is it in our Killer Theories podcast, which you should listen to? You mentioned that specifically about it's probably him for the stupid reason of Brandon's son, Branson.
Yeah.
And that's why I said, God damn it, Mike, because I'm like, you, on an offhanded, I wish it wasn't this.
Yeah.
Totally called it.
Fucking terrified, because he then in the next scene goes into talking about the Scarlet Letter, and they cut away from him to show somebody else, and they try and shift the focus to the scene, but you hear him finish his sentence, which is, she had an illegitimate daughter.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 and then teen drama interrupts it. Fucking Jamie Kennedy has this weird look between Emma and Mr. Branson at one point. Another thing is what I'd like to see the show do, but I don't think it's going to, because this episode pretty much solidified for me. The one character in slashers we have yet to see be the killer is the blonde slut. So it would be nice if it was Brooke, just because literally in every slasher I've ever seen, it has never been that character. It is always, every other character has been accounted for.
Right. Yeah.
Never the blonde slut. Brooke was actually the shining light of this episode. I still think her acting is wildly, like, too much eye movement.
Yeah.
Like, she...
Very erratic.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. We'll get to some of that. So anyway, the cops are in the hospital. The sheriff's been taken off the case, basically, to do traffic duty.
Right.
We get introduced to a black fucking character.
Hooray.
So that's one shining light, MTV.
And she is ex-girlfriend cop.
Oh, God.
I'm in charge of the investigation now, and even though we used to date, I won't hold it against you,
Guess
Sheriff.
what? In a twist of teen drama, episode 5, we get adult drama in there, too. We are so fucking lucky, man.
And it was actually worse than the teen drama.
Oh, God, no kidding.
Because none of these characters, none
We
of the
give a
adult
shit
characters,
about
right,
anyway.
none of them have been made
Let alone
interesting
their
in the
fucking
slightest.
love life. Like, who gives a good goddamn about your fucking love life, Sheriff?
Not one drama.
So anyway, she shows up and her name's Lorena. What the fuck is her name? Lorena Brock. And he calls her Rain and she calls him Hud. Anyway, so they make a whatever of their past relationship. Then we go into Branson's classroom. Another reason that Branson would be the killer. What ties all main characters together? What's their anchor?
High school.
Because, well, actually, that's the thing, is somebody asked us online, and I'm sorry we're not going to be able to get to it this week because we're busy with some other stuff, truthfully, how to spot a killer. Mm-hmm. So this episode is going to have some of that how to spot a killer. Another one is look at all your main characters. What is an anchor that all of them have in common? Every single main character, including Riley, all have Mr. Branson's class at the same time in the same period. Every single one of them. I went back and watched episode 1. In episode 1 specifically, in a slasher, a well done slasher. I'm not saying, if this isn't well done, then everything I'm saying is bad.
Then it doesn't apply, but...
In a well done whodunit, you get, your killer is introduced in the first 10 minutes, meaning the first episode we met our killer, and in the first episode we got all the plot details that'll be important for the last episode. All this other stuff that's coming up in the middle could end up being irrelevant. It's all tied to the beginning. Mr. Branson specifically, Noah makes sure to point him out as episode 1's ending. So it's like, hey, remember Mr. Branson's in this. And then they go off and disregard him for a while.
Right.
Something in me that says bad slasher, which is where I think this is going, again, how to spot a killer, is that it actually will end up being Tyler. This because I'm going by bad slasher logic, which says that they faked that being his head. We still haven't had his body identified. Everyone thinks that's his body, but DNA tests take a long time to come back, so we don't actually know.
This isn't CSI. It takes weeks, not minutes.
Yeah, so we don't actually know that Tyler is dead.
In, learning how to spot a killer, that's the problem with bad slasher movies, is in a bad slasher movie, you can't really guess with any amount of certainty because you have not been given the information to do so.
Right. Like I said, it worked in I Know What You Did Last Summer. Other than that, no. Right. No more of that shit.
A lot of times they tell you all the interesting stuff that you need to know in a monologue from the killer at the end. Mm-hmm. And this is the first you've heard of it,
Mm-hmm. This is just basic, but this comes down to basic screenwriting logic. We're both screenwriters. Mm-hmm. Basic screenwriting logic says that anything that becomes pivotal in the last 10 pages has to be set up within your first 10 pages. That's just good writing. Like, if they, and like I said, if they disobey all this, it could end up being fucking aliens at the end of this. So, if it could be that, then let's just disobey every other law.
Right.
So, anyway, but as the laws say, it still is Mr. Branson, and everything pivotal is hidden in the first episode. So go back and watch that and start forming your own opinions on what we've seen thus far. Then we go back into the school hallway. More teen drama. But this was actually kind of cool. Is Kieran goes up to Emma and he's like, sorry about the video or whatever. She's like, did you watch it? And he's like, no, I like anticipation. And I was like, oh shit, motherfucker. I like Kieran now. Seriously? Boom. I like Kieran. Kieran's my fucking man now. Cause I'm like, that's some slick shit. Like, I wasn't even sure really. I wasn't sure how you spell Kieran before this episode, but now I know it's spelled P-I-M-P. Because this motherfucker was smooth as silk in this episode. And the actor pulled it off too, so I was like, good for you. And then he ends up spoiler alert, fuck you, you've seen this episode. At the end of the episode, he ends up hooking up with her. I was like, yeah, that was a given.
Yeah.
Like, the second he said that, I'm surprised they didn't go butt fuck in the closet and shit.
He nailed it right there.
Yeah, and then he does it later on, where he, like, throws her up against the wall, and he says something else or whatever, but I'm like, this motherfucker is slick. Teen drama again, what are you gonna do? And like Will comes in and sees them kissing, blah blah fucking blah blah blah.
When is somebody gonna kill him? Come on, somebody
Dude,
kill
seriously.
him.
Okay, that's another. No one fucking died in this episode. I was willing to forgive it last episode, but 2 episodes in a row where no one dies, and I don't even think there was any blood other than the mayor like gets a bloody nose. Like, this is bullshit, guys.
Yeah, come on.
Because this is the other thing is I was waiting. I told you over and over. I'm waiting for episode 5. Because episode 5, halfway through the story, we're going to get something that reignites the story, shows us how big its balls are. Not a damn thing happened. They reignited a plot thrust, which is now the investigation, and now Mr. Branson on his laptop thing. But if I'm right about Mr. Branson, that only told me something that I already knew. In the investigation, I already know where that's going, MTV, because you're not doing anything slick. That she's going to start investigating people. Audrey's going to end up being incriminated because of the Rachel amalgam, which they pointed out. So Audrey's either going to get murdered because she's going to become a prime suspect, or she's going to be locked in jail for a lot of it, and the show's going to pull something where it really tries its hard, like every slasher or every mystery, to convince you one person that we revealed the killer, and Audrey was the killer. That's going to be bullshit.
Right. That's your red herring.
Or it's going to pull the Scream thing, which Scream already pulled, is it makes you think that this would be if it was good. This is me giving it credit.
Yeah.
Is you think it's Audrey, then it turns out it's somebody else, they let Audrey go, and Audrey is actually one of the killers, and you almost had her. That's probably what it is. So it's Mr. Branson and Audrey are our killers. Possibly, again, Noah is in it in another way, because Mr. Branson says, and I'm looking into it too much, how about a dramatic three-way between the rest of them, and my partner's gone, so we need partners.
Pointed, with the 3 of them standing there. Like,
yeah, and it's like, my partner's gone, blah, blah, blah. And by the way, that reminds me of something that was in episode 3, right before Riley dies. Noah specifically says, hey, audience. Anyway, Riley, remind me to thank Mr. Branson for hooking the 2 of us up in a group. Why does he have to specifically say that when they're making out? Hey, audience, remember, Mr. Branson set us 2 together. So anyway, sorry guys, Mr. Branson, Audrey, and possibly Noah are the killers. Enjoy watching the rest of these goddamn episodes. Anyway, so there's a bunch of bullshit with the Jake and Will and the mayor. We find out, like we already knew, the mayor killed his fucking wife. Brooke finds out about it, blah, blah, blah. There's a candlelight vigil that happens. Killer shows up, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, nothing really happens.
Yeah, like a whole bunch of people are accounted for in that scene. But again, if you watch the film language, they show Mr. Branson specifically at one point, and then when the killer shows up, he's actually not in the crowd anymore. But it's like, no, I saw him. He was in. That was earlier.
Yeah.
Kind of a sweet scene in a way just because I like Noah and Emma. But other than that, like Noah is really like pulling this fucking series through.
Yeah, he is.
This guy is really fucking good, and I would definitely want to see more stuff with him in it. I like Audrey. I like everybody else. They're okay. But yeah, Noah, anytime he's on screen, I'm like, he adds an extra weight to watch them fucking kill Noah. I know they're not going to, but fuck them. This has one of the worst scenes I have ever seen in fucking anything, where Jake and Brooke are at the coffee shop that they very the fuck well know Emma works at. And they sit in a corner and they have a conversation about, we have to tell Emma this. And then Emma's at a table like right next to him like, tell me about what? So you're trying to say that they didn't look in their peripheral vision to see that Emma's standing right the fuck there. Emma didn't see that her friends were there and go talk to them. Like, that was the most staging bullshit. Right. I was like, this show is fucking stupid for trying to pull that.
I hate it when anything pretends that
if it didn't happen, yeah.
If it's not on camera, then the people on screen can't see it. Yeah. Even if it's 10 feet away. Oh, well, the camera didn't pan over and show that they were sitting there. So they had no idea that each other were there.
Yeah, and another, I like torturing the ice.
Yeah.
Fuck you, red herring bullshit. Like,
awful.
Okay. So we find out that Mr. Branson's been hacking into webcams and that his helpers were Tyler, Nina, and Riley. Which the Riley one surprised me. I was like, ooh, that's kind of interesting. Was Riley because I didn't expect that. Finally, something I didn't. Emma talks to Gail Weathers, and Gail Weathers now becomes a suspect, saying that her father was killed when she was little, and that's why she became who she is. Now, that could be a whatever, or it's just, who the fuck cares? It's way too late.
Yeah.
To introduce her. We already knew because she's in the fucking show.
She's proven herself as pointless and useless.
Yeah.
So giving her a backstory makes her a pointless and useless character with a backstory now.
Yeah. Brooke and her father, that scene made me laugh just because of his broken nose and how fucking stupid and pitiful he looked. But that was the only, I got an unintentional laugh out of this episode. Jake and Will, drama, get into a fight. Mr. Branson breaks them up. Then they go to self-defense class. The black guy teaches it. Woo!
Yeah.
Another black guy. We get two black people in this entire...
In the town at the same time.
Yeah, crazy.
That's diversity.
Yeah, I know. This show is really starting to pick up on the
Although one
fact.
of them had to be bussed in from another city.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
This episode's easy to bust on, but I will say that that's the one thing I liked about it. How sensible is it? And I don't think I've seen this before. The mayor ordered self-defense classes for the victim pool. Like, all the teenagers get free self-defense classes from a cop. That's great. Like, that seems like if I was in a slasher movie.
Oh my god, that makes this episode so worth having seen now.
No, I'm looking for the one positive thing I can say about an hour-long slog.
Yeah, so Audrey whoops the shit out of Will in a scene that I hate those kind of things because it's just people looking, wow, chick's tough.
Yeah.
But Noah starts clapping and anything Noah does, I like, so that was good.
That I took just like her using the voice app. That was just like another indicator that, she's the killer.
Well, yeah.
Because she's obviously physically very able, and this hasn't been demonstrated until now.
Yeah. Then Kieran takes Emma out and teaches her how to shoot a gun.
And then they bang, and then that's it. You didn't even get like a masked figure watching them from the woods or anything. They just banged, and that was the end.
Well, yeah. I was about to say he mentioned something about that, but I don't even care about going into what he says about that. Overall, terrible fucking episode.
Absolutely.
Completely slowed the pace. You are fucking putting filler into something that never needed fucking filler.
Yeah, it was. This episode was all filler. I literally slogged through it. It took me like 2 hours to watch it because I'd get bored and I'd pause it and I'd do something else. I came back. I watched the entire episode. I couldn't do it in one sitting.
Nope.
The show so far has been average at best for me, but this was far and away the worst episode.
Yeah.
So it looks like they're playing for time, which is, if you're a limited series, you should never be playing for time.
Nope.
Because you've preconceived as a limited series. If you only had 8 episodes worth of story, just do 8.
Right.
So if you're gonna do 10, at least try. As you said, there was no killing. The focus was entirely on the teen drama, and this isn't a knock against the actors, since the characters are all so flat. The teen
their
drama
relationships
means nothing.
are barely building.
Yes.
Like, we're not getting flips on characters, we're getting who the fuck cares new revelations. And like I said, even the parents are being brought into the drama. The sheriff is mentioned to used to have a pill addiction, and like him and the mom finally get to kissing and shit, and I'm like, wow, do not fucking care one goddamn bit.
Now, and don't think that we're hating on it simply because it's teen drama, because recently we both loved a movie called Unfriended, which was steeped in teen drama.
Oh, absolutely.
And that teen drama actually had drama. Mm-hmm. It had character interaction. It worked.
Shocking revelations, a bunch of good stuff.
And
teen drama does not have to be bad.
Yeah, and we both, it made us care about these asshole teens. Now, Scream, this is a similar bunch of asshole teens, and I couldn't care less about any one of them. I had the thought during this episode, Mike, where it's getting to the point that it doesn't matter who the killer is. I won't be surprised simply because it's not making me care.
Yeah.
The reveal is just going to be, oh, it was them.
Yeah.
And it'll be flat. So if the reveal is going to mean anything, you guys got to ramp it up. I mean, not just better than this episode, but you got to get better. I mean,
like, we need some forward momentum. We need some real shit to fucking happen. This is not working. What you're doing is not working. I have been a huge supporter, and you are losing me by leaps and bounds.
Next episode, you need not just one good kill, but you need to piggyback it with a surprise kill to make me think, oh wow, anybody could die at any time.
Yeah, and what we're getting next episode is going to be, it's going to start with Kieran and Emma going to that house. They're going to look around. The killer's going to attack Emma, take off the mask. It's going to be Emma. It's going to be revealed to be a dream sequence. Slash, scream. Audrey's going to start getting interrogated by the cops. So you're just buying your time until we get to this fucking bowling alley and you reveal that somebody you thought was dead earlier is actually not dead, or somebody who was locked up, blah, 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 is the killer, along with, and it could go really bad, and because we still haven't met fucking Troy, Brandon James' older brother. We don't know that Brandon James is actually dead. We don't fucking know Emma's father. So it could potentially pull an I Know What You Did Last Summer, and it be one of those motherfuckers who we've never even seen before.
Yeah, or it'll be something like the sheriff is actually Brandon James, because he had reconstructive surgery.
Dude, I would not be surprised.
Yeah.
Not at all.
The sheriff has been given just enough screen time to make me convinced that he will tie into the story. Not because he's important, he will play a major role in it, even though he will not have a major, screen time role on the show.
Well, because see, this is the other thing that they're setting up is, like I said, my joke has always been, we talked about, that it's the sheriff and Kieran. That it's I Still Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah.
And he's hooking up with the daughter. He's hooking up with the mom. Ha ha! Yes. We made you sleep with the bad guy,
revenge!
So if I have to sit through a bunch of bullshit to get it revealed that that's what it is, I'm going to watch next episode because I have faith. No, I really don't know if I have faith. I like the actors is basically one of the only reasons. And because I just want to know who the killer is, but I really don't care anymore. Yeah. You motherfuckers need to really step it up.
Yep. You have officially lost my interest. So there you go. I would give this one, a 2 out of 10.
I would give it a 3.
Yeah. So bad.
There was no redeemable. The only redeemable quality was that Noah was in it. Yeah. I'm dead serious. Everything else worked against it. Oh, and Kieran was a smooth motherfucker. But seriously, that was 2 smooth lines.
Right.
And because I didn't think they could do anything to ever make me like him. So it was oh, okay, show you got that. But other than that, nope, nothing worked. Everything went against what you've been working on. Woo!
So hopefully you haven't watched the episode yet. You checked in with us first. And I recommend going forward, you check in with us first before you waste the whole hour. This week, at least, we're far more entertaining than the show Scream.
All right, and we'll see you next time, guys, here on The Horror.